How do you fire someone with dignity? Firing someone is probably one of the most stressful decisions you'll have to make as an entrepreneur. I mean, the conversation itself, right? I mean, who wants to have that? And even just getting to the decision can cause a lot of anxiety and a lot of sleepless nights. That's why today I'm going to help you to prepare to get through those conversations in a way that keeps your nerves and your sanity, and more importantly, the other person's dignity intact. And make sure to stay until the end, because I'm also going to share with you a cheat sheet that's going to help you decide whether or not it really is time to let this person go. Hey there, I'm Nafisa Shireen, success coach and business strategist for entrepreneurs, and welcome to Living Forward TV, where I help you to build your business and design your life all around your personal freedom. Each week, I bring you fresh new content and free resources that you can download and use in your business right away to help you get results faster. If you want to build a business that makes great money and gives you freedom, then make sure to subscribe to my channel and click the bell notification so that you're the first to know when I release new episodes and publish new content. To really grow a business to the point that it gives you true freedom, it means you've got to hire a team. That way you can work on your business and growing your business and let them take care of the day-to-day and working in the business. And there's a lot of ways to do that. It can be through contractors, through vendors, and people you hire directly. And the people you hire directly are who we're talking about today. No matter what everyone's intentions are at the beginning, there's going to come a time when someone you've hired just isn't working out and they're not leaving on their own. And so you've got to help them along. Terminating or firing someone properly, legally, professionally, and most importantly, with grace and dignity is crucial to not getting sued or facing other liability and protecting your business reputation and possibly even your safety in extreme circumstances. A proper termination that protects everyone, including your hire and including you, actually starts before you ever hire them. Now, I know we don't go hiring people thinking we're going to fire them, but you still want to be clear on what your terms of separation are in your offer letter. And those are the terms whether they decide to leave or whether you terminate them. That way everybody knows well up front what the deal is and there are no surprises later. However, you never want to make any written offers that are not reviewed by a lawyer. I think this is probably one of the most important things I can tell you when it comes to hiring team members, because when it comes to employees, if there's any ambiguity in your agreement, even though it's your money, and even though it's your business, and even if the employee is in the wrong or they violated policies or were dishonest, the law is going to be on their side. And you can be opened up to all kinds of liability, including personal risk. And that applies even if you're incorporated, especially if they feel that they were discriminated against or somehow that their rights were violated. And even if it's not true and they're just a disgruntled ex-team member, if you're not properly protected, it can get really expensive later. Now, most of the time, it's not going to get to that point. But you know what? It only takes one bad apple or one unintended miscommunication to cause you all kinds of financial harm. That's why it's really worth it up front to just pay a couple $100 to have a lawyer look at your offer letters before you ever hire anyone. And especially that you consider every province and every state can have different laws and you can't possibly know what they all are. Now, hopefully that's something you never need, but it's good to have that protection up front if you do. The other thing that needs to be done up front, and is also just as important, is that your expectations and each other's responsibilities are clearly laid out for both you and your team member. You want to let them know what you expect from them and what they can expect from you. And then if they're not meeting expectations, you should be giving them ongoing feedback as they're doing their work and to have an open dialogue with them. Now, this episode isn't all about how to help someone improve their performance. We'll do that another time. But the point that I'm trying to make here is that being terminated should never come as a surprise to anybody. And the only way it will or it won't be a surprise is through ongoing and open communication. If you've been supportive and trying to help them improve and they just can't seem to get there, when it does come time to terminate them, at that point, it may actually be a mutual decision and they might even be kind of relieved. And you know what? It's never going to feel good and it's never going to be easy. I've done this so many times. I promise you that. It's not easy. But setting it up properly from the beginning can reduce a lot of drama. later. Now, when it comes to the actual termination, I really want you to think about your energy. At this point, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter why you're letting them go, even if they really deserve it, and even if you don't really like them, and even if they really messed up. It's irrelevant. This time, it's not about being right or making them wrong. Their job and the work they did is really no longer the concern because you're terminating them. And it's going to be pretty obvious to them they were wrong because you're firing them, right? At the time of termination, all the conversation about is bringing their employment and the termination to completion gracefully. But before you actually have that conversation and prepare a termination letter, again, you want to be talking to a lawyer. Even if you had a lawyer involved up front in looking at the offer letter and the terms of separation are in that offer letter, before you actually let someone go, you are going to need the help of a lawyer to make sure that you're terminating in alignment with that offer. And if for whatever reason you are thinking right now of terminating someone and you didn't have a lawyer look at that offer letter up front, then you want to run, not walk, to a lawyer to help you with the termination. Another tip I want to offer you is to never fire someone on the spot. Never do it when you're angry or when you're just feeling like you need to. This is not an emotional decision. This is a strategic business decision and should be implemented strategically and systematically. And what you actually say in that termination and what's in that letter, again, need to be reviewed by a lawyer. You want to make sure that you're not violating any laws and that you've actually upheld your hiring agreement and that you're not showing any discrimination or any hardship or any mental duress at all. These are all really important things in firing someone with grace and dignity and in protecting you and your business in the long run. The thing is, I know, sometimes it just feels really good to get rid of some people, but that's not what terminating is all about. It's about doing what you need to solve the support needs in your business and doing it as cleanly as possible. And again, since the laws are different everywhere, what's actually going to be said needs to be guided by an employment lawyer. And I know I keep saying that, and that's because it's important. Now, here are some things that your lawyer is probably going to recommend that you do, and I view them as best practice. First of all, never fire anyone alone. Always have a witness to the conversation. This helps release the charge, it protects your reputation, and if there's ever a challenge in court, you have a witness to what was said. And in extreme circumstances, this is for your safety if someone is emotionally volatile. Even if you need to call a favor from a friend, have someone else there. And during this conversation, you want to be as brief as possible. You don't want to go into a lot of explanation, unless, of course, your lawyer tells you to. You always want to listen to your lawyer. But generally, you're just letting them know, this hasn't worked out. Effective immediately, your employment is terminated. No emotion at all. And then let them know how the separation will go, what you want to do with their keys, with company property, and let them know how their final pay will be paid, and if there's any ongoing benefits. You want to let them know all of that so they have as many facts as they can and they can feel, confident knowing what's going to happen next. And you want to back that up in a letter, again, reviewed by your lawyer, because in that conversation, you have to remember that they're probably going to be very emotional, or they're not going to be thinking straight, and they're not going to remember everything you told you. So having that all nicely and professionally laid out will really help them later to understand and remember what's going on. And if they're not virtual employees and they come to your place of employment, something you might want to think about, and I know this is a bit of an expense, but again, you want to be asking yourself how you're viewed as an employer and how you're viewed as a business person. And again, thinking about grace and dignity and looking at the human being on the other end of that. Losing a job can be really, really traumatic. So to help them, you can offer to arrange a ride for them or ask them if they need help getting home. Or maybe have an outplacement counselor that they can talk to and help them deal with the trauma and the shock, because part of letting someone go with dignity is looking after their physical and emotional safety. And if there are things you feel that this person did really well, remember, just because someone isn't a fit for you doesn't mean they don't have some really awesome qualities. Maybe they had a great work ethic, or they were always on time or early, or were a great team player, or maybe there was just something else that they did really, really well, but they weren't a fit for you. And again, unless your lawyer says not to, then let them know that, and you can give them a reference for those particular things to help them in their next job search. Now, Sometimes it's tough to know whether you really do need to terminate someone or if corrective action can still help this employee. So what I've done is made a checklist below on what I consider to be the warning signs and questions to ask yourself so that, you know what, you can tell whether it's time to let someone go or whether you can help them. And you can just grab that below this video. Hopefully, it's going to help you in that decision making and take the stress out of it. Now, remember, at the end of the day, it's just business. You have a business to run, and you need to make sure that all of your team members are pulling their weight and helping you accomplish your goals. And if they're not, sometimes you just have to part ways. And it doesn't say anything about you, and it doesn't say anything about them. It just means there wasn't a fit. If you found today's episode helpful, then please share it with someone who you know needs it. Leave me a comment below and let me know what you found most helpful. And please subscribe to my channel. And if you really want to grow your business and hang out with an awesome tribe of entrepreneurs and get daily inspiration from me, then I'd love to invite you to join the free Living Forward Facebook community and continue the conversation. Simply hop on over to livingforwardcommunity.com, click the Join Now button, and I'll see you on the inside.